worship the God who is. We worship the God who evermore will be. He opened the prison doors, He parted the raging sea. My God, He holds the victory. Yeah. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Yeah. We sing to the God who heals. We sing to the God who saves. We sing to the God who always makes a way. 'Cause He hung up on that cross, then He rose up from that grave. My God, still rolling stones away. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise.
Shout out your praise. There's joy in the house. There is joy. There is joy. Surely in this place.
And we won't be quiet. We're gonna shout out your praise. There is joy. There is joy.
There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise.
We shout out your praise. Oh, we shout out. Oh, oh,
The Faithful Hall of Fame. Joseph. This is Joseph,
Hey!
who was the son of Israel and Rachel. He was his father's favorite, so his brothers hated him and sold him into slavery. You see, Joseph was taken to Egypt, and Potiphar, one of the Pharaoh's officials, bought him for his household. God was with Joseph, and he did well in Potiphar's house. Potiphar saw that God made everything Joseph did a success. So he put Joseph in charge of his whole house.
Yeah!
And God blessed Potiphar's house because of this. Potiphar's wife saw how well Joseph was doing in the house, and she wanted to make him do bad things. Joseph ran away from her because he wanted nothing to do with someone who would try to make him do the wrong thing. This made Potiphar's wife angry, and she wanted to be rid of Joseph. So she lied and made Potiphar believe that Joseph had done the bad things that she wanted him to do. Potiphar burned with anger against Joseph and sent him to prison. While Joseph was in prison, again, he did well, and the warden soon made him responsible for all that was done there. God was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh was having unsettling dreams. Pharaoh did not understand his dreams, so he sent for Joseph. Pharaoh asked Joseph to tell him the meaning of his dreams. With God's help, Joseph told Pharaoh that the dreams told of what could come in the future, and he explained all the dreams to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh believed that what Joseph was saying was true. He trusted Joseph as a wise man, and he put him in charge of the land of Egypt, of Pharaoh's palace, and of all his people. The Faithful Hall of Fame, Joseph. This is Joseph, who was the son of Israel and Rachel. But he had 11 brothers who hated him and sold him into slavery. After being put in jail, Joseph told of the future of Egypt when he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, and Joseph found favor with the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh made Joseph a leader in his kingdom. Just as Joseph had told the Pharaoh, Egypt had 7 years of abundance. Then the 7 years of abundance came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had said. But the Egyptians had food to eat because Joseph had planned for the famine. There was famine in all the other lands, and many came to Joseph to buy food. There was even a famine in the land that Joseph came from. So when Israel heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent his sons to buy some. But Israel did not send Benjamin with the others because he was afraid that harm might come to him. When Joseph's brothers came to him, Joseph recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger. So Joseph decided to test his brothers. He had his interpreter tell them to send for Benjamin, who had stayed home. And then he threw his brothers in jail for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph let all but one of the brothers take grain to their starving households with the instruction to bring Benjamin back. But Joseph provided for his brothers' journey and gave them grain and silver. The brothers did exactly as Joseph instructed, as they were scared that God was punishing them for what they had done to Joseph so many years before. They traveled home to their father's house, then back to Egypt. Now that he had seen that they brought Benjamin, Joseph was overwhelmed, so he released the brother who was still in prison. But Joseph decided to play one more trick on his brothers. He sent the brothers away but told his servant to hide his silver cup in Benjamin's bag. Then Joseph told the servant to go after the brothers and retrieve the cup. The brothers hadn't traveled far before the servants stopped them and accused them of stealing the cup. Joseph could no longer control himself before his attendants. He made them leave so he could be alone with his brothers, and he told his brothers who he really was.
Ta-da!
He told them of his life and all he had experienced, and he forgave them for what they had done. God was with Joseph and took care of him and showed him favor.
Your grandma's cookies might be the best cookies I've ever tasted in my whole life. Thank you, God, for blessing us with grandma and her cookies. Wow. No! We ate them all! I wouldn't do for just one more.
Oh, I'd give away all my Pokemon cards. I'd adopt a monkey. I'd dye my hair blonde.
Hey, look, it's your grandma. I guess I'll answer it. Hey, Grandma.
Emmy, hello. Now, where's my JJ?
He just ran off. I don't really know where he went.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Here you go.
We'll call you back.
Hey everyone, welcome to Press Play. I'm Jay.
And I'm Emma. Jay and I have been living out a dream of hosting and co-hosting a late night talk show.
Yeah, we've been learning a lot about the story of Joseph from the Bible.
Jay, wasn't your hair just blonde? And didn't you have a pet monkey? And where are all your Pokemon cards?
Not sure what you're talking about, but I do remember that we were talking about how delicious my grandma's cookies are.
Yeah, they're the best. But I know your hair was blonde and you had a pet monkey. And, Tina Marie, can I talk to you for a sec?
Yeah. Hey, Emma, what's up?
Okay, didn't Jay just have blonde hair and a pet monkey? He doesn't now. Now he's just regular.
Yeah, we decided it wouldn't be right for him to have blonde hair and a pet monkey, so we made it right. Made him regular.
You made it right?
Yeah.
Whoa. You can do that?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So wait, whatever's in the script just happens?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I borrow your pen? Thanks.
Hey, I just had an idea.
Yes?
What if my grandma was a guest on our late night talk show? What if she did a baking segment and taught us how to make her famous cookies? And what if you got to eat all of them?
Wow, I think that's a great idea.
Wait, what'd I just say?
Too late. 3, 2, 1.
Press play!
Whoa! We're back, everyone. Our next guest is someone very special, especially to our co-host, Jay.
That's correct.
Without further ado, please welcome Jay's grandma.
Hey!
Howdy, everybody.
Hey.
Jay.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi. And everybody can just call me Grandma.
Okay, Grandma. Thanks for being here. Are you all ready to learn how to make Grandma's world-famous chocolate chip cookies?
Oh, well, the first thing to remember about this recipe is that if something goes wrong, you can always make it right.
Amazing.
That is amazing. It reminds me of the Bible story we've been talking about from the book of Genesis.
Oh yeah, it's about a guy named Joseph. The story started with his own brothers selling him into slavery.
I know that story very well. My Uncle Chris used to read it to me when I was little. I remember thinking, how in the world would such a horrible thing ever be made right? Maybe as we make these chocolate chip cookies, we can talk about it.
Sounds great.
Fantastic.
All right, well, first thing we need to do is preheat the oven. Go get that going. Okay.
Okay.
That heat from the oven makes me think of just how angry Joseph could have been with his brothers when he saw them in the book of Genesis chapter 42. Because of the lack of food elsewhere, Joseph's brothers came to him in Egypt to buy some grain. They didn't even know it was him. They probably thought he was dead or something, but Joseph knew it was them the moment he saw them. Here we! All right, JJ, let's get that milk ready.
So how did Joseph keep from being angry?
Well, at first he did speak harshly to them, and it seemed like he did have some sort of punishment in store. Add the milk. Go ahead, make sure you add that. There you go. Oh yeah, keep stirring like you were doing. That's great. Just like we have to keep stirring, I think Joseph had to keep reminding himself of all the good God had done with the very bad thing his brothers had done to him. JJ, grab that mixing bowl over there. Emma, pour the flour and milk in there. I'll add the melted butter. Joseph played games with his brother that scared them. He set them up to look like they were stealing from him. But then, in Genesis 45, Joseph couldn't take it any longer. Seeing his family again was actually just too sweet. Genesis 45, 4 and 5 says, Then Joseph said to his brothers, Come close to me. When they had done so, he said, Hey, I'm your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now, do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. Now that reminds me, something very important is missing. Oh yes, Grandma's very secret ingredient. It's a special sugar. See, whatever happens, we can make it right, just like God did in this story. Once we add the sugar, all that's left to do is mix it up, shape our chocolate chip cookies, bake, and enjoy! Wow, it's already ready! Can you believe it?
Delicious.
Speaking of enjoy, Joseph pulled his brothers close to him. He told them that what they did was meant for harm, but God made it right. What they did was not okay, but Joseph knew when things seemed beyond repair, like our chocolate chip cookies, maybe without sugar, or the relationship between Joseph and his brothers, God will make things right. Oh my gosh, what was that?
Oh, that means we gotta go, Grandma. Thanks so much for joining us.
Grandma, do you want to try the secret handshake with me?
Well, I guess.
And why don't you all try as well? Ready? Whoa! It was so cool to have my grandma on the show. The bummer is...
I know. We had to leave before we ate any cookies.
Wait, I just got a text from my grandma. She says to check the fridge.
We hit the press play button and we were right back on the set of our talk show. This time we had Grandma as our guest. She taught us how to make cookies and told us all about how God made things right in Joseph's story. It seemed awful that Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, and it was. But God used the situation to save lives. And then God even brought Joseph and his brothers back together. No matter how broken things seem, God will make things right.
Emma, cookies!
I gotta go. But you know what time it is? Time to drop the verse. Oh, it's time to drop the verse. It's time to drop the verse. Here we go, here we go, here we go. By day the Lord directs his love. At night his song is with me. Psalm 42:8. Psalm 42:8.
What?
By day the Lord directs his love. At night his song is with me. Psalm 42:8. Psalm 42:8. By day the Lord directs his love. At night his song is with me. Psalm 42:8. Psalm 42:8.